I cannot believe what I'm witnessing.
11:08 to go in the first overtime. They'll toss it to White, right side. White will cut back, and he will. Driving forward, diving to the goal line. A touchdown and a title for the Patriots.
I can't believe it. I can't believe
They
it.
have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Look at Brady. One more ring.
And a silver trophy is coming back to New England. The Patriots score 31.
Yo, welcome back to King Sportscast and a great playoff weekend. Couldn't be more pumped about it myself. I know my colleague, it didn't end as well for him, and that's to put it lightly. How's it going, Mr. Wayne from the Highly Offensive Podcast? How are you and your Chargers feeling a day after the debacle in New England?
If they were going to play like that, they should have just lost to the Ravens. It was pathetic on really just the defensive end. Effort-wise, it was hard to watch. I don't even know how a professional football team in the last 8 teams in the playoffs lets that happen to them through the first 3 quarters. It was pretty disgusting, especially being a football fan, just in general. Big, blowout in the playoffs this year so far. So was not a fun day.
Yeah, actually, it was the largest playoff lead. It was tied for the largest playoff lead at half for the New England Patriots, which says a lot for how much playoff history they've had. But the last time it was against the Tebow Broncos. So, yeah. So it's been a little bit of a flash in the past there, guys. Obviously, for me, I was pumped up right from the beginning. Tom Brady looked great. I guess everyone at Fox Sports 1 and ESPN should stop broadcasting sports because they clearly don't know anything about football. Other than that, though, I mean, I think we've all known how trash ESPN and Fox Sports 1 has been for a long time. There was some more exciting games that, were entailed. I mean, I was excited to win my 50 from our friendly wager. Don't forget about that, guys. But how about this Cowboys game, man? To kind of go back into the weekend, the Cowboys defense, I don't think Dak was the problem this time.
No, it was just straight up C.J. Anderson, Todd Gurley running up the gut over
C.J.
and
Dickerson.
over and over. Yeah, C.J. Anderson is an awesome story that not a lot of people have really been talking about, but he got cut, 2 times?
I think he was released by the Broncos and then cut by the Panthers, and then he was picked up by the Raiders, and they didn't even let him practice. They just waived him or recut him right after that.
Yeah. And everybody was kind of talking a little bit of shit, saying he was, chubby, which he is. He's chubby, but he just ran for over 140 yards in an NFL playoff football game. And, it was good for C.J. Anderson to do that, but I think you have to look at the way the LA Rams offensive line was just getting a huge push upfield, man. And really, any of their running backs would have went wild in that game, because I don't know if it was just a matchup, against Dallas and their D-line, and it was a bad matchup for them against the Rams offensive line, but they could not do anything until the fourth quarter to stop that run game.
Yeah, I don't know if weight is an issue sometimes with some running backs. I mean, we remember Jerome Bettis. I mean, some of the quickest feet ever, but he was definitely not a man with abs by any means. So, I mean, you also have Sean Alexander. I don't think he was as fat as Jerome Bettis, but he definitely wasn't. We've seen those low-to-the-body guys have super quick feet, and actually, it's kind of tough when you're dealing with a dude that low to the ground who's like a little bowling ball. So it looks like no one wants to tackle C.J. Anderson late in the game, as good as Todd Gurley is.
Yeah, he's a really good compliment, and honestly, it's somebody they needed early on in the year to keep Todd Gurley healthy, because we saw what happened. Through the first 10 games, Gurley was averaging well over 25 touches a game, and in today's day and age, NFL, that's just too much wear on a running back. I mean, if you go through an entire season averaging 25 plus touches a game, you're not going to last that long in this league, and it's good that he's there now, because they can keep Todd Gurley healthy. And when they really need Todd Gurley to go out there and get them, a first down here and there, make a play to get a touchdown and find the end zone, they have him healthy now. So it's a really big pickup. And again, biggest thing to take away from this game is their offensive line got back to what they were doing early on this season. That means there's going to be more Jared Goff standing upright, having time, looking through his progressions and getting the ball downfield. And it's going to really give the Rams a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. I'm really excited for the Saints, Rams game this weekend.
Can we just say how lucky we are as NFL fans for this weekend? Rams, Saints, Chiefs, Patriots. I mean, it was exactly what we thought the best teams were, and we got what we wanted almost to an extent. And I don't think if any of those other games, I think if the Chargers, Patriots went another way, that's still an exciting AFC championship game. So we really were in for a good weekend, whether or not the winners or the results from the games. In that aspect, I'm super excited. I know you're pumped up. Another great weekend of football. It'll be the last weekend where we have multiple games. So it's gonna be sad. This football season coming to an end. It's been a great one.
It's went so fast, man. But yeah,
before you know it, you're just old and you don't play football anymore. You're like, what happened?
Both of these teams have already played each other, or both of these games, the teams have already played each other in the regular season. And if you go back and look, Chiefs versus Patriots, that was one of the coolest games of the season. Patriots ended up winning, right? It was 43-40, I believe was the final score of that one. And then the Saints, they sort of blew out the Rams, honestly. I mean, the Rams come back and made it close. I think they cut it down to 10, but the Saints have already smacked around the Rams one time, and it will be in New Orleans, right, this weekend?
Yes, sir. New Orleans it is. The road goes through New Orleans and Kansas City this weekend. Man, Kansas City, though. I know little subject change, but not looking forward to Arrowhead. The Patriots have been a completely different team on the road. They have an actual losing record on the road, and they're undefeated at home. If we could have maybe not – if the Miami Miracle didn't happen, we would actually be seeing this game in New England. Thank you, Rob Gronkowski, for pooping your pants.
Yeah, it's a big swing. I mean, dude, going back, to what we were talking about before when we brought up this matchup, the Colts and Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was looking really, really good heading into this game. And the Chiefs defense are getting hot at the right time. They're not, kind of like the Patriots. They're not, doing anything crazy. They're not getting a ton of sacks, but they're forcing turnovers. They're ball hawking on defense. They're getting to the ball. They're not letting people run all over them. And again, Andrew Luck and the Colts had a hot offense going into this game. Like I said before, I don't trust Andy Reid as much as the next guy, but Andy Reid has never had a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes makes some plays that I've never seen before. I mean, this is like Brett Favre-esque with a little, speed and acceleration behind it. Like, he has some throws that are just insane, and he made some against the Colts, and he makes them look easy.
Yeah, I mean, he takes that like off-platform baseball throw and somehow makes the football do the same thing. I don't know how he looks like a shortstop, throwing it with his legs wide, no base, just winging it, sidearming it. He had that one sidearm throw. I was just like, why did he think like that was okay? And how is that in your repertoire? You're like, oh, I'm going left, but I'm gonna whip it sidearm around the lineman, and it's like a perfect dime leading his receiver. It's just it's incredible, man.
I know exactly which throw you're talking about. And a lot of the throws, he uses his eyes so well. And, whenever someone like that has a cannon like he does, and throws it as fast and as hard as he does, can use their eyes to not just throw off the safety, but he's throwing off cornerbacks who are covering their man one-on-one. He's still throwing them off. It's hard to jump a route whenever the dude can just look at you. He could look one way and then throw the ball directly in opposite direction on a rope. So it's I wouldn't want to play DB against him. It'd be basically impossible, and that's why he's not been picked off that many times this year.
Yeah, I think he's like that mixture of people that we wish we always had when you're scouting some of these big arm QBs. You just wish they would have more of that mental aspect, and he not only has the mental aspect, he's smart. He looks off people like at every level. He's agile. He's not really like super fast, but he's just quick. But he doesn't, he's not like sprinting to run. He's like, he just like moves. He just adjusts the pocket and moves, which it's honestly incredible watching. I'm not too excited at being at Arrowhead, but I still am picking the Patriots in this one. I will never ever pick against Thomas J. Brady. He's the GOAT for a reason. Carried me through my whole football life through greatness. So, like I said last week, no negative energy coming in this house. Tom Brady he seems fired up. You saw in that post-game interview. He's like, everyone thinks we suck. We can't win games anymore. And I was like, uh-oh. Did Tom Brady just think he was underrated again? Because the league better watch out if Tom Brady thinks that people don't think that he's the GOAT anymore or he's fallen off. Because remember, the last time he came in the league underrated, he became the GOAT.
Yeah, man. I saw a stat that said that 77% of bettors were taking the Chargers. And as soon as I saw that stat, I just put my head down like, shit, we are not going to win this game. And honestly, I'm gonna take the Chiefs in this one. And the only reason I'm taking the Chiefs is because it's going to be hard for the Patriots defense to keep up with the speed that the Kansas City Chiefs have. They're not going to just lay down like the Chargers unfortunately did, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. Though I honestly think that even if it snows, I still think it's a high-scoring game because I don't see the Chiefs' defense stopping Brady, and I don't see New England's defense stopping Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. I'm interested to see. Like last time, how did they defend Tyreek Hill? Because if you recall the last game, he got off against that Patriots defense. He was basically doing whatever he wanted. He scored the touchdown to go up late in the game, and they just didn't have enough speed for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone in the NFL has remotely the speed that Tyreek Hill has. He very well could possibly be the fastest player in the NFL, and probably is, ever been. I mean, you could put him right up there with Dion as fastest players ever. I don't know. The Patriots' defense are much better than the Chiefs' defense, and at least playing-wise, going into the postseason, not only just the postseason game. Obviously Belichick's he's a really amazing defensive mind, and he has them playing better as the year goes along. It always seems like that. The Patriots play better. Chiefs are playing better as is. I don't know how much that game was to do with Andrew Luck being a fluke in the playoffs, the stadium being ultra loud, the fans hitting the Colts players with snowballs. I don't know what the issue was with the Colts. Maybe Andrew Luck got some snow in his eyes, got hit with a snowball, and he's from Texas. He doesn't even know what snow looks like. He just freaked out, cried, curled in a little ball, and called it a day.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there either. Like whenever I watch the Chargers game and the Chargers-Patriots game, I can tell you this, Chiefs, don't go into fucking zone against Tom Brady. It's stupid. Your guys are not going to get to him quick enough. Edelman's going to find the soft spot in the zone. And even, I guess you all don't have a Desmond King to screw everything up, but I'll just say it that way. I know what happened to the Chargers, right? I know why they got 35 hung on them, basically in the first half. But on the flip side of that, I don't know what happened to the Colts offense. It didn't make any sense. They were just – not converting third downs. Nobody was really making any plays. Andrew Luck didn't really look like he had a nice flow going, like he had the last 10 games coming into that matchup. But like you said, it could have been a number of different things. The weather, is always going to be a big part. But Patrick Mahomes showed that a couple times he can play in the snow. So that's why I really like this matchup in the conference championship, and I think it's going to be a really good game.
Those dome teams, man, they really struggle when they actually come out the dome and have to actually play on the road in some inclement weather, which why I've always liked New England and their home field advantage. I mean, the record proves itself. And it's amazing Kansas City, that was their first playoff win at home since 1991. They were 0-6 in Arrowhead, which is the second loudest stadium by decibel level behind the Seahawks stadium when they measured all the crowd noise and stuff and the way the stadium's built and how the sound echoes. So I thought that was a weird stat. You wouldn't think. But if the Chiefs have, since Super Bowl III, since they won Super Bowl III, have had very weird playoff history. I mean, by weird, I mean not good.
blowing leads. Yeah, they no, they really haven't had a lot of luck and had some really good
Luckily, they
teams.
didn't have Andrew Luck. They had Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes.
they had Patrick Mahomes, and
So he
dude
might be
proved that he can play.
obviously the cover. He covers all those wounds and bad bandages because of his offensive output's just unmatched. I just don't know if he's gonna get the type of just lack of care right out the gate on the Colts side that I don't think the Patriots are gonna be like that. I just don't see them coming to a conference championship game even on the road. I think they're gonna play a lot better. I am talking this into existence to an extent. We played great in that Chargers game. We were locking them up man to man, more than just even, as well as Gilmore played after he got burned. They were all playing well. Jason McCourty was playing out of his mind. Every third down, it felt like Jason McCourty was fucking someone up or messing someone up going into the third down and long or whatever. He was right there to make it the punt. That aspect, I'm actually excited. We had a really good pass rush. I don't know the Chiefs' offensive line. They might be a little better than the Chargers' offensive line. I know they have one All-Pro. I think it's Schwartz. I don't know if it's the left tackle or the left guard, but one offensive lineman's not going to do it. If they play that well rushing the QB, I think as good as Mahomes agility-wise, I think the Patriots would do a better keeping him in the pocket. The thing when you're going against Mahomes and you have a Brady, like obviously if Brady wins, it will be probably more resemblant of even what was in New England is, they score, they trade scores, but then the Patriots defense and Belichick in the special teams just steal a possession here or there just to edge us out. That's how I think if we were to win, that's how I think we win. We just edge them out. But I don't be surprised that this game's lower scoring than it appears like it would be, just because the conference a lot of those Manning, Colts, Patriots conference championships were a lot lower scoring than even people anticipated, and even if it ended like a 27-24 or 31-27, it wasn't that high scoring. Even though that sounds weird, it wasn't like an offensive slaughterhouse that we probably think that should happen, especially with these defenses. But the Patriots defense always are a top 10 scoring defense. They allow a lot of yards, but they tend to still be in the good part of scoring, which at the end of the year usually helps us going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking into this. So the over-under on the game is only 57.5. And I say only because, like you said, a 28-24 game, 27-24, whatever the final score is, comes close to that over-under. So I guess, it's saying basically both teams are going to, end up around 25 points or so. But they're going to finish in the 20s. So the over-under, is right on line with what you just said. My only thing here is that I thought that, watching the game, the Patriots offense was more impressive to me than their defense. Yeah, Phillip Rivers throwing in some garbage time, but they got down so early that the offense and Phillip Rivers, started giving up pretty early themselves. What I liked about the Patriots was their run game. It helps, not having as many pass catching all-stars as they normally had before with Josh Gordon in there and healthy younger Gronk. Edelman's always going to do his thing, but that run game set up the pass so well. When you looked at it, Philip Dorsett caught a wide open touchdown. Julian Edelman had 5 or 6 wide open catches where he just got into space and converted some first downs. But that run game with Sony Michel and the push they were getting on the offensive line against the Chargers, pretty stout, run defense was what really impressed me about them. And, you can compare the Chargers defense to the Chiefs defense all day, but the Chargers just have a better defense and their run defense is better. So if they can do that, maybe it's a scheme thing. Maybe, Andy Reid's smarter than Anthony Lynn, but that run game looked really, really good. And if you give Tom Brady a play action to really, throw off of, that's pretty scary.
Andy Reid has never really been known for his defensive side of the ball. He's really the offensive play caller, so I don't know if he'll really have a major effect. I'm pretty sure Bob Sutton is the defensive coordinator. and he definitely runs the whole show on the defense. And he's not a bad defensive coordinator. He's had a long tenure, a long career in the NFL, but his defense has not been good this year. And if the Patriots can run the ball that well going forward, I'm sorry, Tom Brady with play action, and like you're asking for a long day, especially if you just sit in that little zone. I mean, it's funny if this is. I was actually talking to one of our listeners, one of my good friends, and we are talking about how much we love Tony Romo in the booth because he's literally making fun of the Chargers the whole game. He goes, "Yeah, I mean, if they sit in the zone, Tom Brady's gonna. Look at that, Tom Brady's picking them apart. The motion shows they're still playing zone. Look, completion. Like he's literally mocking them in the broadcast." And be like, if you don't put pressure on Brady, you sit in the zone, he will pick you apart. And then it proceeded to happen. So I thought that was a fun take from the game. And I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Andy Reid will not outsmart himself like Anthony Lynn just did. He made a good move against the Ravens. He brought a couple DBs into the box, had 7 DBs on the field. Awesome. It worked. Lamar Jackson is not Tom Brady. It doesn't work like
no
that.
Way.
You can't roll that over.
Wait,
like,
what?
It's not...
No, they're basically the same quarterback. Like right now, physically, they're at the same level. Triple option quarterbacks. You know, that's Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson. You know, if you're gonna do a comparison out the draft, they're the same.
But no, it's just like, man, like I don't get it. Yeah, Tony Romo, he made fun of him, but dude, anyone who plays can see that was just, it was dumb. And I hate to say that because Anthony Lynn, he had a good season. I love him as a coach, but man, you got to swallow the pride sometimes and realize, a couple of drives once they scored, they didn't punt until late into the second quarter. They had more first downs than
21 first downs in the first quarter or first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they had more first downs than the Chargers had plays on offense.
Yeah,
so it's just like, I mean, man, I know you're not looking at stats during the game, and I get it. You get caught up in the moment. You're in Foxborough. It's not an easy place to play, but you have to swallow your pride at some point and say, all right, that scheme's not working. Screw it. We're going man-to-man. We're blitzing them. We're trying to get Brady to move out of the pocket. Like, do something. Anyways, Andy Reid, my point is Andy Reid is not going to make that same mistake. They've been, mixing up the defense fairly well. They've looked a lot better the last 4 or 5 weeks. They just shut down, Andrew Luck. However that happened, I'm not too sure from watching the game, but the defense does look better. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I don't think the Chiefs are going to lay down by any means. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, and a team that laid down by any means, or didn't lay down by any means, and even where they got to, even as negative as the game ended on Sunday, the Eagles, man, they didn't lay down this season. They easily could have, we're Super Bowl champs. Let's take this into the offseason and went 6-10, but instead they clawed their way back in. Obviously, thanks to Kirk Cousins and being the trash can that he is. They were able to claw their way back in the playoffs, steal a playoff game, and honestly, if it wasn't for Alshon Jeffrey and his Butterfingers, I think we're talking about Big Dick Nick in this historic Nick run continues.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. It sucks for Alshon Jeffrey because he had a pretty good game, but
and a good season leading up. It's not really all his fault.
You can't really take anything away either. And I'm not saying you did this, but you can't take away from what Drew Brees did on that drive where they had the ball for 15 minutes and ran 17 or 18 plays. He converted 5 third downs. And what him and Michael Thomas did on that drive to me was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in football. I watched that entire drive. They started out on the 2-yard line. They drove all the way downfield. They were down too at this point. And Drew Brees was making some throws that I haven't seen him make in 4 or 5 years. So to see him, with bringing out the big arm, stuff like that, converting 3rd and 18s, 3rd and 20s, that's pretty impressive to me.
Brady and Brees both turned the time clock yesterday, and obviously definitely not taken away from Brees. He's in the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, and if he wins a chip this year, he's probably number 2 in all reality. because his statistics and number of Super Bowls, he's probably number 2 at that point. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's like you just
behind
in that
Eli
moment,
Manning.
but yeah, that drive's unmatchable. I mean, that's as great of a closing drive that you can get, and not only closing, but to just remove the whole he just removed a quarter of football. It's impressive.
Yeah. And some of the plays on that first one. So they were down. Eagles, if you didn't watch the game, Eagles went up 14-0 early on. They had a chance. They got a strip sack fumble, and they had a chance to fall on it, and Brandon Graham didn't fall on it. He tried to pick it up. So the Saints got the ball back and, ended up punting whatever. So they're still down 14-0, and Lattimore gets a pick. And then it's fourth and 1, I believe, for the Saints, and Doug Peterson didn't take the holding call on 3rd down, which would have made it 3rd and 11. And the Saints ended up going for it on 4th down with a fake punt. And that really set the tone because they ended up scoring on that drive. So it's a couple plays really cost the Eagles. We almost, like you said, seen Big Dick Nick come back again, take his team, on a hell of a run. But there was a couple plays that really cost them, and the Alshon Jeffrey drop and the 4th down with Doug Peterson not accepting the penalty were huge.
I was just hoping that Nick Foles got to maybe the conference championship game, maybe even the Patriots get some sweet revenge, because the longer he would have lasted in the playoffs, the more it questions how much they really want to go forward with Carson Wentz. And anything to get these Eagles fans going crazy is good for football. Whether it's, getting arrested in their own stadium for dumping pee on other fans, or, crying about their double quarterback situation. Anything to get those Eagles fans riled up. But you got to test to them for their season. The way they I wish a lot of teams that could take a note from them and, not quit when they have, it seems like the season could be over.
Yeah, that's football for you, man. Once you get into the playoffs, everything that had happened in the season, I know it's an old cliche, but everything that happened in the season goes out the window. It really is a new season, and you can really make a run. Like you said, they were a couple plays, if not just one play away from going to the conference championship again, and they're playing a Rams team who they had completely handled earlier in the season, handled them. So, you never know. They could have been in a Super Bowl, but now it's going through New Orleans. So I know you said you are taking the Patriots, of course, against the Chiefs in the NFC Conference Championship. Who do you got, Rams or the Saints?
So this year, I picked the Saints to come out of the NFC and win the Super Bowl as my pick. Obviously, if the Patriots get there, I'm definitely leaving the bandwagon to bring all that good energy to Brady. But I definitely still picking the Saints here. I like you said, watching Breeze. I think Breeze has the ability to not only run up the score, but if you need a 15-play drive to close the game, you need a comeback drive to put in field goal range. I trust Drew Brees way more than Jared Goff. Now, if it happens that they can just run the ball down their throat, control the game, and that run defense can just put Brees in very tough situations, yes, the Rams can win this game. They're clearly in a great team. They're the second best team in the NFC, probably the second or third best team in the NFL. But I still like Drew Brees. I think he's on a mission. He's on a mission to build his legacy and not only just kind of put himself in the top 3 echelon of greatest quarterbacks of all time with this Super Bowl win, no doubt, because he's still probably going to play a couple more years. So if he could get this one, I mean, you're really talking some legacy pushing with him. Yeah, I mean, I that's who I see. Patriots, Saints in the Super Bowl. I think it'd be really cool for us to see a Brady Super Bowl. As much as Brady Goff could be good, or Mahomes Goff, or Mahomes Breeze. Mahomes Breeze would be another cool one.
Would be super cool. I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really complaining. We're not getting a bad Super Bowl here, folks.
Hell no.
So,
Hell no.
Woohoo! Let's celebrate. But yeah, no, I mean, Brady Breeze, just because they're both in the tail end of their careers. I mean, that would be an instant classic, and I don't think they would let us down. I don't remember exactly where the Super Bowl is being played this year. Is it in?
Let me look up. I know it's Super Bowl 53. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It says Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Well,
Atlanta,
Patriots
Georgia.
fans travel really well, and obviously Saints fans are willing to drive a couple states.
Yeah.
So that will be an electric environment, and in a dome, I think Brady and Breeze will easily put up 35 apiece, and we'll have like a Chiefs-Patriots like game where it's whoever has the ball last will win, which I think that's what we all want. We all just want to see Breeze or Brady take their team down the field and win a chip.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints in this one, and it strictly comes down to home field advantage, and it's Breeze versus Jared Goff, and I'm going to put my money on Breeze every time. He's got halfway decent defense. They're not going to shut anyone out, but they are
number
good
2
enough
defense
to make
in the NFL the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, they've been pretty solid, and you give him a pretty good defense, and you got Alvin Kamara. I love Alvin Kamara, man. I know I'm a Tennessee fan, and
man, if you got
helps.
Brady throwing some dump off passes to that boy, think about put a Kamara in that James White position. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, he just gets first downs too, man. What he does to get first downs, I think, is the most overlooked thing right now. He extends the ball like he's going for touchdowns, but it's to get first downs, and not a lot of guys do that. Not a lot of guys are smart enough to do that, and I think he leads the league in first downs this year. But that's a big key part in that drive. Him and Michael Thomas going back and forth. And you can't really run up the interior on the inside against the Rams. So they're going to use Kamara a lot on the outside.
Yeah, man, great weekend of football coming up, guys. Got to stay tuned. It's about it for us at King Sportscast. We basically covered all the games going forward and previously, and I'm super excited. We're going to get a good Super Bowl out of these conference championship games. I think it's 1:00 and 4:00 on Sunday. Am I correct on that one, or are they doing 4 and 7?
Sunday,
or is it
3,
is it Sunday Saturday? Is it just both night games?
They're both Sunday.
Both
3:05. Rams Saints 3:05. Patriots Chiefs 6:40. Sorry.
There you go. You got a night game in Arrowhead. That has got to be a crazy environment. We're gonna see snowballs flying. It was funny when I was watching that Chiefs game. I didn't realize what. Like, I was like, wow, those snowballs, their trajectory is weird. Like, it's not falling snow, Like, when, like, the Colts players would get near the sideline, you'd see them, like, getting hit with stuff. And actually, the NFL broadcast actually caught someone red-handed throwing it. And Twitter blew up, which, that man just lost his seats.
Yeah, man, you can't be throwing snowballs at players while they're freaking trying to play and sit on the sidelines and shit. It's already cold and your hands hurt because it's so freaking cold. And you know how it is when you play any sport outside in the cold, man. It's not
from
fun.
Florida. We were playing in 50-degree weather complaining, so I didn't want to hear about Arrowhead with the snowballs coming down in January.
Yeah, but we know. It looks like both of these teams are ready to play in the cold. We know that how the Patriots are. They're probably practicing all week outside. Probably spraying the water hose.
Projected temperatures 10 degrees.
Yeah, so have fun with that, guys. But we're going to be watching. We're still expecting both teams to put up points this weekend. So they better hold true to that.
Yeah, guys, appreciate the listen and the support. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. We're just going to be dropping on some new platforms. I'll drop that info on the Facebook page. Wayne, really appreciate you coming on, talking some more football. We got some new cool episodes coming to you this week, guys, so really stay tuned.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Chargers, unfortunately, didn't make it as far as I wanted them to, but still a huge fan of football and can't ask for anything better this weekend. Both 1 and 2s, and thanks for having me on again, man. It's been fun. It's going to be fun covering these games.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm definitely not going to be missing a minute of my Patriots. I'm going to be willing them to victory. We need all the help we can get, especially on the defensive side. Maybe Richard Seymour, some Teddy Bruschi come out of retirement, knock some dust off. We need you guys. Maybe more Ty Law because we don't really need Teddy Bruschi's slow ass. But
I was about to say Ty Law is the only one that y'all could really use.
Yeah, a young Ty Law. Maybe even Darrelle Revis, bring some ghosts. But, Stephen Gilmore, man, he's played amazing. But, guys, make sure to stay tuned. Watch those games. Stay tuned to watch these episodes. Make sure you subscribe so the episodes go right to your phone. Really appreciate the support, guys. Again, thanks, Wayne, for coming on. Peace.
I'm having a good day. I feel so free today. I'm having a bad day. Can't take my pain away. I'm having a good day. I feel so free today.
I went up on plates, I stack every day. I'm mowing the lawn, cut out the snake. Don't follow the law, step out every day. She feed me the lies, I feed her the grape. Ay.
My baby, she body, say yeah. Say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. My baby, she body, say yeah. Say yeah, say yeah, say
Keep away from the frauds, stay away from the fakes. Never worry about Pauls, no Logan, no Jake. I've been feeding on bars, my protein don't break. Keep my ranch on hard, my dolly on cake. It's easy to slide, she's ready to skate. I'm stroking it smoothly, I better not crate. Go to war for the power, I'm pushing the tank. I got G's in the tire.